Hey guys, how you doing? Ron here with Tech Tips to Go. In today's video, we're going to be going over my second favorite coin. And I know my VFan members are probably waiting for some more VeChain news, but today we're going to be talking about Ethereum 2 and a little bit more. Like Charles Hoskins calling people an idiot, comparing Cardano versus Ethereum. So let's get into the video. All right, guys, so let's start with the great news. We'll set the controversial topics to the later half of the video. So some great news for Ethereum. There's been a lot of buzzwords. There's been a lot of great things going around with Ethereum, a lot of news. So there's been a lot of news that's been going around out on Reddit, on Twitter, on social. When I was looking at everything today, did Ethereum really take that little pump, or like a 2%, 3%, 5% pump? And we'll take a look at CoinGecko, and it really didn't move too much today or over the last couple of days. It's kind of been flat, more on down towards a downwards trend. So the news that came out and what a lot of people are talking about, which is pretty exciting to me, we all know that Ethereum 2, then it's not 100% sure that there's delays, and this is what I personally think. I think Cardano took a great approach in doing this. Is they didn't really come out with a hard date. There's like a tentative date, but they didn't really say exactly. They didn't really put a hard date. But when you look at Ethereum, when they talk about it, they'll always say like, okay, well, it's coming out for sure, this year, and then they said about June of 2020. So now I think they kind of looked at a little bit more bugs with the testnet and everything. So we're not even sure if June 2020 is a hard date. So a lot of people had those expectations, and people were kind of like making fun of Ethereum that'll never come out. So anyways, let's get to the good news on Ethereum. So this came out a couple of days ago. Actually, it first came out in April, with Ethereum and Reddit. So now it's actually even confirmed that it's launched, and Reddit expands to Ethereum. So if you look at the news that's going around with Twitter, so Reddit is going to launch the Ethereum-based token for cryptocurrency on Fortnite, and so on that subreddit, and also on cryptocurrency. So there's going to be like a two coin system, and that is expected to start rollout or implementation or go live somewhere, I think in August, they said, at the end of the summer. So this is great news. I just think, like I mentioned, like I'm very bullish on Ethereum just because of like when I saw them go from like the previous bull run to where they are now, and like the adoption with decentralized finance, and then staking, and ETH 2 coming out. I think there's a lot going on, which is great. And I know that there's a lot of Bitcoin maximalists who watch this, but I look at Ethereum and Bitcoin, like the two can exist. Like you don't have to like one or the other. Like I love Bitcoin, I love Ethereum. I think both are great. They can coexist. I kind of look at the way both of the coins are is, I compare like Bitcoin being the kind of like the Microsofts of the world, and maybe Ethereum being like the Linux of the world. Like Linux servers, great for like back-end databases, Unix, Linux, Red Hat, that's kind of their ecosystem, and Microsoft being Microsoft, right? So that's the way I look at it. But, they could coexist, and Bitcoin could always be that great store of value. Ethereum is great in, dApps, many more developers, more enthusiastic individuals, building upon decentralized finance, etc. So this is great when it actually comes out, like news like this, Reddit. And then the second piece of news is this. So here's a tweet on Twitter from Eric ETH, and he mentions Visa's patent to digitize dollars show that they plan to use Ethereum. So this is very bullish, as we get more into kind of that bridge between cryptocurrency and traditional finance. This is great news, Visa. So you can look at the addresses that are on the ETH accounts from Visa. Now, I don't know if this is a bunch of BS, but there's been a lot of news going around. So you could take a look at these block numbers. And it's pretty cool. I think this is a great stepping stone, not just for Ethereum, but just the whole cryptocurrency in general. Whether it just helps with global adoption, right, between cryptocurrencies, fiat, and, the banking, the IMF, just the whole nine, right? And if you look at the forums on Twitter, everything's kind of blowing up. Newsflash, Visa may be looking to use blockchain technology to digitize dollars, and they're looking to use Ethereum. He's got those pictures again. Blockport also mentions breaking Visa likely to launch digital currency after filing patent create a stablecoin on Ethereum blockchain. So anyways, that's something to use. Those are the two great news. And I'm going to show you this clip when Charles Hoskinson mentioned, will Ethereum 2 make Cardano obsolete? And I'm not a fan of trash talking coins. I know, like, when I have my channel here and I kind of make like a controversial post between, XRP or holding or buying or selling, etc. There's a lot of people that like to trash talk a lot of coins, and I don't like doing that. And especially for someone who a lot of people look up to, like Charles, I just don't think, it's great for the cryptocurrency community, right? Because Cardano and Ethereum could exist. They could be both great networks. It's just the same thing like Ethereum 2 and VeChain, right? Ethereum's not a bad coin. People were saying, oh, well, that's great. Deloitte, abandoned or went off of Ethereum 2 and switched over to VeChain. Now everyone's like trash talking Ethereum and it's not good, or Jim Breyer Capital, delisted Ethereum and only has VeChain. But those two ecosystems are great. VeChain's great with supply chain traceability. Ethereum might be the leaders in decentralized finance, so it's great. And it's like everything else, like when I talk about like ecosystems and having two different operating systems that are leaders, right? Like you have databases like Oracle, you have SQL. They both kind of provide the same thing, but they're all great and they have their own community and customers. Same thing with like Microsoft and Linux, right? Or Unix, the same thing, right? So, and that's why I don't really like to trash talk like a lot of coins out there. But anyways, let's listen to this YouTube video, and this is from the Crypto Adapter, so go follow him. It's pretty interesting.
Will Ethereum 2.0 make Cardano obsolete? No. In fact, all the core protocols of Cardano are better than what Ethereum 2.0 will be once finished in every category. We're more Byzantine resistant. We have explicit blockchain-based governance, which Ethereum hasn't even touched at all. We have a better idea of how to update the system. We have a significantly better network design than anything that they've proposed in 2.0, and our consensus protocol is better. Plus, with Hydra, our theoretical throughput is orders of magnitude better than anything that can achieve with ledger-based sharding. And we don't have to implement enormous complexity to achieve ledger-based sharding, because we can do all this in a single shard environment with a layer 2 solution and still get 1,000 TPS on the single shard environment with maximum optimization. Makes no sense at all, Ethereum 2's direction. And it's a classic example of they tried 500 things, they settled on one thing that made sense, and they're just about to push their whole community into a world of trade-offs and endless debates over parameter this, parameter that. We're fighting over pledging and K. Imagine having 16 parameters you have to set, and those parameters can mean that you lose your money. It's much more complex. And they're going to have F2 and F1 living at the same time. So that's going to actually be an Ethereum classic. And they're going to be a war with themselves during this transition. The minute that they said we're going to have a fight over ProgPow, I knew for a fact that they had no intention of shipping proof of stake quickly. Because why the hell would you even bother to change your proof of work algorithm if you were planning on deploying your proof of stake algorithm in a 6-month time horizon? Why even have the fight? Just go straight to proof of stake. Unless you don't think it's going to be 6 months. It's going to be 2 years, 3 years, and you need to solve your difficulty bomb. You need to solve your issues today. So I think there's a lot of intellectual dishonesty there, and we wish them well. And if they do cool stuff, great. But no, it's not all it's cracked up to be. I just listened to say everything about F2 is inferior to Cardano. I mean, I just pointed out facts. They're a third to a quarter Byzantine resistant, depending on how they parameterize their protocol. We're 50%. That's a fact. Okay, so you disagree with facts? Okay, you're an idiot. It's just that simple. You can also believe that, you don't need to.
Anyways, him mentioning you're an idiot. You're an idiot. You're an idiot. Anyways, that's just not my take. I don't like to trash talk a lot of coins. I think he could have taken a better approach. But anyways, guys, leave me a comment below. Let me know what you think about the video. I'll leave a link to this. And I just smell a little bit of bitterness towards this. So maybe bitterness for him, bitterness because Ethereum is second in market cap, second on the leaderboard. It's growing. There's a lot of buzz around it. Ethereum's doing great. Let me know your comments. Let me know what you guys think of this video. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Comment below. Let me know what your thoughts are and everything. So I'll see you in the next video, guys.